Welcome back, dear children. How's everything? Hope everything is going well. Students, shall we rewind the previous English class? Okay, what did you study in the previous class? Yes, we started the third unit, Glimpses of Nature, and I introduced you an interesting poem, right? So, what's the title of the poem? Yes, very good. The Mountain and the Squirrel. Students, I told you to recite that poem. Hope you all recited the poem. Students, first of all, I'll recite this poem. All of you listen attentively. The mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel, and the former called the latter little prig. Bun replied, "You're doubtless very big, but all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a sphere. And I think it no disgrace to occupy my place. If I'm not so large as you, you are not so small as I, and not half so spry. I'll not deny you make a very pretty squirrel track. Talents differ. All is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forests on my back, neither can you crack a nut." Students, in the previous class, I told you to write the difficult words from this poem. Hope you all wrote that difficult words. So, shall we discuss those words and their meanings? Quarrel means fight. Former, the first mentioned person. Latter, the secondly mentioned person. Prig, annoying person who has a great attitude problem. Next one, bun. Here, bun means the squirrel. Doubtless, without doubt. Sorts, kinds. Sphere means the earth. Disgrace means disrespect. Spry means active and lively. Deny means refuse. Squirrel track means a track made by a squirrel. Talents, skills. Differ means different. Wisely, with proper judgment. Crack, to break. Students, hope you all understood the meaning. Now, I'll explain this poem to you. All of you listen carefully. Here is a mountain and a squirrel, and they got into a fight of some kind. Here, the poet used the word quarrel to describe the fight. It is a temporary upset to their normally well-balanced relationship. The mountain called the squirrel as little prig to insult the squirrel. Here, prig means self-righteous. Now, all of you look the fourth line. Poet uses bun to refer to the squirrel. The squirrel starts by telling that the mountain is very big. It has a presence the squirrel cannot deny. Additionally, he adds that you, the mountain, are only one of many things which must be taken in together. The squirrel is attempting to set aside their differences and come to terms with the fact that they will not always get along. One cannot hope to live in peace with every type of being. There, objects, creatures, and people all make up a year and a sphere. The world is constructed of the good and bad. Both are equally necessary for life to go on. Through these lines, the squirrel is insulting the mountain. In the last two lines, the squirrel lays out his argument. The basis of the quarrel is also revealed here. He does not see anything wrong with his occupying of one place on the mountain. Just as the mountain is large with a large role to play, the squirrel is small with an equal role to play. Both must exist. In order to come to terms with the mountain, the squirrel lays out their respective advantages and disadvantages. First, that the mountain is much larger than he is, something he accepts as the truth. But the squirrel is much more spry. It can move quickly from place to place in a way the mountain never dreamed of. Now look the last stanza. The squirrel compliments the mountain. This is another slightly backhanded compliment as the mountain is said to be a pretty squirrel track. The mountain is beautiful and perfect place for a squirrel to roam. He admits their talents are different. The mountain is able to carry forest on its back, but it cannot crack a nut. There is something about its inability to complete such a simple task that lends the ending of the poem in a forgiving tone. So we can conclude that this poem conveys the idea that every phenomenon on the earth is equally important. Nothing is superior or inferior to the other. Every creature in the world, big or small, has got same significance. Students, hope you all understood the explanation of this poem. Am I right? Now, shall we go through some activities? All of you take page number 77. Look, activity 1. All of you read the question given there. Fill in the columns with appropriate expressions given in the brackets. So, some expressions are given in brackets. Read it. Very big, small, can carry forest on the back, can crack a nut. So, find out the appropriate expressions for squirrel and mountain. First one, very big. Here, which one is very big? Yes, very good. The mountain is very big. Now, which one is small? Yes, some of you are telling the right answer. The squirrel is small. Next one is, who can carry forest on the back? Yes, the mountain can carry forest on the back. Who can crack a nut? Yes, you said the right answer. The squirrel can crack a nut. Students, hope you all understood this activity. So all of you do this activity on your textbook. Now all of you look activity 2 in the same page. Read the question given there. Read the last 4 lines of the poem. A very pretty squirrel track, talents differ, all is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forest on my back, neither can you crack a nut. In the first line, the word track has the same sound as the word back in the third line. The word track rhymes with the word back. Pick out more rhyming words from the poem. Students, do you know rhyming words? What is the definition of rhyming words? So I'll give you the definition of rhyming words. Rhyming words. The words that end with the same sound are called rhyming words. For example, book, cook, tin, bin. Now all of you look at this activity. Which are the rhyming words? Yes, track, back and put, nut. Likewise, you have to find out more rhyming words from the poem. This is a homework for you. All of you identify the rhyming words and write that on the textbook. Now all of you take page number 78. There is 2 more activities for you. Look, activity 3. Read the question given there. Read the following lines from the poem. The mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel, and the former called the latter Little Prig. In the third line, the sound L is repeated in the beginning of the words latter and little. This is an example for alliteration. Look at another example. My love's a red, red rose. In this example, R sound is repeated 3 times. Now identify and write down words that are examples for alliteration from the last 4 lines of the poem. Students, I'll give you a definition for alliteration. Alliteration: the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. This is the definition for alliteration. Students, these are the last 4 lines from the poem The Mountain and the Squirrel. Now find out the alliteration from these 4 lines. This is also a homework for you. Do it yourself. Students, in the same page, you can see one more activity there. Activity 4. Read the question. Write a summary of the poem choosing relevant sentences from those given below. First sentence: the mountain and the squirrel begin a quarrel with each other. They quarrel because the mountain feels that it is more important. The squirrel says that it takes a year to make all sorts of things and weather. The squirrel says that he is quicker than the mountain. The mountain has got many trees on it. The squirrel says the mountain is wise. The squirrel is grateful to the mountain for giving him a path to move along. The poem tells us that everyone has his or her own talent and hence everyone has a contribution to make. Students, so all of you do this activity as a homework. So students, try to do these activities and I'll give you notes based on these activities on the next class. Students, from the next class onwards, we will start the revision for the second midterm examination. All of you read the text and note thoroughly and prepare for the examination. Thank you, dear children.